Okay, guys, so all this week we've talked about making up charts. Now comes, we've worked on making a chart for Blink-182's What's My Age Again, just so you can have something short, sweet, and simple to get for how to plot out a chart and what have you. Now we're going to talk about something a little more interesting that we haven't really talked about, and it's more about going into techniques and how you'd want to play it. Now, Blink-182 is classified as, a pop-punk band, but, one of the most forefront techniques with punk bass playing is the use of a pick and palm muting. Now, you can get the same effect with your fingers, the palm muting, and for that matter, the pick, playing with a pick, but it's a little more tricky just because I'll show you why. Now, playing with a pick, one of the best ways to simulate that with your fingers is with the flamenco technique that I've shown you. You have the whole, back and forth technique that you would have with a pick. But one of the big differentials about playing with a pick that you can get sound-wise that you can't really get with your fingers is that, and especially with harder music along the punk, hard rock, heavy metal vein, is when the tempo's right, you use just down picks to get more of a driving edge. I mean, here's playing with the flamenco technique. You still get kind of a different sound, even just because you're hitting more with your pinky, with the flesh of your finger on the downstroke, and on the upstroke, you get the sound of your nail hitting the string. Now, playing with a pick, doing up-down alternate picking, you get a nice, smooth, consistent stroke because both sides of the pick are the same material. You get the same attack, same tone. Now listen when it's just down picking. When you're doing alternate picking, it's a little bit more relaxed because you're not really forcing anything. It's a nice, easy motion that's pretty much ingrained for people who play with picks. But when you're doing just down picks, you can get more force behind each attack. And it does give it gives the song a little bit more of a driving edge. Now, am I saying don't do alternate picking? No, but I'm saying that this is where the technique thing becomes a matter of personal preference. When the song is allowable, I see how much I can just hammer out the song doing down picks. And this entire song I can play with down pick strokes. And, you can get that pick, you can emulate a pick using your fingers with the Geddy Lee technique, but playing palm muting gets a little bit more tricky because you gotta rest your palm in such a way that it's lightly pressing on the strings, so you're choking it out. You're not letting it ring all that. You're not letting it ring that much. And really the best way you can do that with your fingers is either to play it in such a way like you're holding a pick, but you're really just doing a different style of the flamenco technique. Holding your hand like that, or doing something completely different and using your left hand to mute. And the way that you do that is, there are two different, there's a thing called harmonics, where you lightly push, just lay your finger across the string at a fret, and you get that sound. It's basically the same principle as a harmonic, but you're pressing down a little bit more firmly. And even then, you still run the risk for letting a harmonic sound. Now, I just showed you that you can get more of an accurate pick technique by doing this. So if you want to do it like that, go right ahead. But me, I like playing with a pick. Now, there are some other things that, in terms of like chordal stuff, that I talked about in the lesson in terms of the chart, and I will talk about that in the music theory lesson.